is transmitted by AMCO, the transmission experts, with 10 AMCO locations in the OKC and Tulsa metros. AAMCO.com. Time to look both ways, speed up, and merge. This is The Drive with Matt Ravis.
And looks like Beamer is at the podium now. Just let me know if you want to go.
Good.
Y'all, whatever.
98.1 FM, W.
Yes.
Sports Animal, thesportsanimal.com, and the Sports Animal app. This is what's trending now on the Sports Animal.
5 days away from kickoff in Stillwater, 47 from kickoff in Norman, 52 days away from the National Football League regular season, and SEC Media Days is here. But to break down everything about the Club World Cup, it's Mark Rodgers, live from Atlanta. What's up, Mark?
What am I breaking down? What are we doing?
The Club World Cup. You know everything about it right now. I'm just kidding. Everybody wants to hear about the SEC today. We're not going to talk soccer. I'm just playing. How you doing, man?
I'm good. We got a cool venue this year right here at the College Football Hall of Fame. That's pretty sweet. I was walking around. I was geeking out a little bit because right by the dining room, they got a full set of 1955 Topps football cards. Like I had an Otto Graham in there. I have to look at some of the other deal. It was in some dude's basement or something like that, and he donated it to the College Football Hall of Fame. So,
that is amazing.
Like, what would that even be worth? Probably.
I don't know what it's worth.
I guess it depends on the condition of the cards.
It's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it.
Fair market value. That's the phrase here in college football now.
I think fair market value.
Fair market value.
Much more to sports cards than it does to working conditions.
I remember, yeah, absolutely, you're right. I remember hearing a conversation though between you and Sam. By the way, I think Sam's going to be back today. Is that right?
Sam is back
for baby duty.
Sorry,
awesome. It might be a new man.
1955 All-American football set consists of 100 cards each, measuring whatever. To circumvent pro footballers' contractual conflicts with Bowman, Topps created a card set focusing on Heisman Trophy winners and Hall of Famers. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. That is cool. I mean, fair market value, you could argue, is whatever anybody wants to pay for it. That may not be real market value. So it's an interesting discussion there. So
1955 Topps All-American football.
By the way, at SEC Media Days right now, I guess Shane Beamer is at the podium, and we could take his comments if we would like. I want to know more about Atlanta, though, and I want to know more about these cards, too.
$11,370.
Crap.
Complete set.
Holy crap. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's quite
a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
And it is, most of those are in excellent to mint condition. So you can find one as low as $3,000, but those look.
I hope the guy who donated those got the biggest tax break of all time. Deserves one. Deserves one.
I've seen one player, like one player. I've seen zero coaches today, other than on the feed, and we're sitting right by the CBS Sports set, and so they got it all kind of, they got like a 3-camera shoot there, set up for players to come by.
Will you compare the setup to last year's SEC Media Day in Dallas? Like, how is it busier? I would imagine that there's more local people there.
It's busier, and the print media and the podium where the coaches speak to that group is downstairs, and so it's a little further away, but there's more radio and more podcasts and more of everything here this year, and it's a little further apart just because of the way that it's set up here in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Sure. No, that makes sense. It's different in the SEC, man. All of these people, like there's going to be some Crimson Tide fan who's in the media who asked Hugh Freeze about the golf game. We're like, what's your stock, coach, or something like that. That's going to happen.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. I mean, I'd be here for that. But I don't think that
I might ask him if he comes on with us. I mean, you're the one who's with him. That might be awkward for you, maybe, but it'd be kind of funny.
Take a joke pretty well. I mean.
Yeah, from a complete stranger. Yeah.
Love to talk with Jackson Arnold tomorrow. I mean, that would be good. Hear what he has to say.
Absolutely. I'm interested to hear from Brent Venables. I guess Brian Kelly did a whole filibuster to start his media appearance. I mean, that's a guy who's on the, at least if you ask LSU fans, he's very much on the hot seat. And I don't know if that was reflecting him feeling the pressure or not, but I think he spoke for Brett McMurphy said he spoke for 12 plus minutes straight on the opening statement.
Oh my God. I mean, That's kind of ridiculous.
That's almost getting to Brent level.
It is scary
almost
when you talk that long. I mean, sometimes it's just I think you're trying to convince yourself that you're saying things that people are believing. I don't know. LSU has lost how many straight openers? Is it 4 or 5? They've lost either 4 or 5 openers in a row, and they've got to go to Clemson this year. To open
Clemson
going to be an underdog.
5. So probably maybe 6 straight. Mississippi State in 2020, UCLA after that, Florida State twice in a row, and then USC last year.
Remember,
What are they doing scheduling those games that early? I mean, why don't you schedule a cupcake game week 1?
Schedule it. I mean, it's
Louisiana Monroe, week 1. Do it.
Tough for LSU? I mean,
no, it shouldn't be. Neither should Mississippi State, really. I mean,
they should win that game. I mean, yeah. The point being is that if the LSU folks think they're going to be really good this year, they have to replace all of their offensive line with the exception of one guy. They have some creatures on the defensive side of the ball, but I don't know if they are stocked all the way across the board. Like their secondary has not been very good, but this is going to be the second year for the new defensive coordinator that they hired out of Missouri. They clearly have offense. I mean, they've got the quarterback, Caden Durham, who is from Oklahoma City. He spent 1 year at Duncanville. He spent a year at Southeast, I believe, in Oklahoma City. His dad's from Oklahoma City. And he was one of the more explosive backs in the SEC last year. He had an 80-yard touchdown run, 70-yard touchdown reception. So he's going to be really good. He'll be a player to watch on that team. And then you got the other 2 OU guys, Nick Anderson and Bauer Sharp. So there's a lot.
Anderson was in a car accident. Did you see that? I guess Kelly didn't say what the injury was, but he said he'll be ready for training camp. Should be ready for training camp, for fall camp.
Which one?
Nick Anderson was in a car accident, is what Brian Kelly said.
Yeah,
he said it wasn't that serious, but he said it was like he was medically impacted by it. So
I don't know how much he participated in the spring, to be honest with you.
He didn't participate much last year. I mean,
I know he's just seems to have had some really, really tough breaks as far as being able to get out on the field.
That's just bad injury. Like if you get into a car accident, what can you blame that on? I mean, that's just horrible. So I wish I knew more about that injury, but I don't. They've got Harold Perkins back, right? One of the guys who's going to be up there for DPOY in the SEC Weeks. But yeah, it's weird to say LSU is going to you're going to question their defense because I'm not used to saying that. But I need to see improvement on that side.
Whit Weeks is
if there is, they could be a real contender.
Whit Weeks is really good. He's got 2 younger brothers on the team. And so they have Ole Miss in September. Then they've got an off week. They got South Carolina at home. They've got A&M at home, at Alabama, Arkansas at home, Western Kentucky, and then at OU.
I need to mention this real quick, Mark. So you've got the video stream set up. So you set all that up today. You can go see that on the app, on YouTube, on Facebook. You can see Mark on video and any guest as well. How was that setting that up?
It was easy. Cisco helped me. I mean, it was
Mark Rodgers.
I got all this equipment set up. There's a mess on the table. I've got a power outlet, power strip plugged into another power strip. So
the daisy chain. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's not.
That's awesome.
It's not going to get like my art teacher would have given me a D on this, but it is done.
What matters is that you're on air. That's the part that matters.
That's right.
Yeah, to get this man a tech fee. So yeah, that's all on Facebook, on YouTube. You can see that on the Sports Animal app. If you don't have the Sports Animal app on your phone, I don't know what you're doing. You need to have that. This is a drive in the Sports Animal. A couple of SEC questions that I threw off of Matt earlier, but do you have something else here?
The equipment, and then
go ahead.
I'll answer your SEC questions. Was getting from one end of the Atlanta airport to the other with all of these bags. And so I had a backpack double strapped. And then I had my bag strapped over one shoulder, and then I had both hands on the equipment. Now, it does roll, but it awkwardly rolls. And so I just kind of had to toughen up and carry the suitcase. It was like a guy pulling a semi in the world's toughest man or something like that. It was got a lot of balls.
Through like a city street, too. Like you're trying to navigate all that traffic. That I've never been yelled at by a TSA agent except for twice, and both of them were at the Atlanta airport.
It was 90 degrees when the plane landed last night, and I don't know that I've sweated that much in a decade. Just workouts, I was lathered up pretty good.
Now you were in Vegas last summer. Are you telling me it's even worse because of humidity and all that? Or
the temperatures in Vegas last year was like 118.
Yeah,
that was super hot. But it was I mean, Vegas is easy. Just went from the hotel to the, I've
True.
been out of the Vegas airport many times. The Atlanta airport's just kind of an entirely different animal.
It's got its own area code, right? Like zip code, maybe. The Atlanta airport.
It's
You're staying in Buckhead, is that right?
I am.
That's where we stayed a couple of years ago. It's pretty bougie over there. It's nice.
I haven't had a
great bars and restaurants.
I drove around Buckhead today in the residential area on my way downtown. Man, that is fancy. There's some really, really cool houses over there.
Yeah.
But I'll check out Buckhead a little bit later tonight. I'll let you
we
know.
went to a concert one night, and we went to our hotel, which is like, it's a decent hotel. And then I went up on the rooftop because there's a bar up there, and there were no less marked than like 15 women, and they were all twerking in unison up there. And I was like, okay, I am truly in Atlanta now. I saw this, even in Buckhead.
I'll break out the cell phone for that.
Yeah, let me see that. I tried to get Rachel to go over there. She wouldn't do it. So I don't know what was up with that, but Buckhead's cool. Buckhead is cool. Okay, I got two SEC questions for you. First one's a quarterback question. Second one's a hot seat question. Who is the best quarterback in the SEC?
I mean, I've seen Paul Feinbaum a couple times a day. I mean, he's saying that Arch Manning's the best quarterback
He's got
in the country since
I was going to say something else. He's got a crush on Manning.
Nussmeier
got a man crush.
is in the conversation. Sellers is in the conversation. A couple of those guys are here today. Manning is clearly in the conversation. I don't think you have to go very far to put Mateer in the conversation.
It's kind of what I'm wondering. Yeah, I think he's got to be. Would you put him ahead of Lagway?
Yes.
I think I would because of experience and production. Lagway might have more potential, though.
It is a big step up. It will be a big step up for Mateer against SEC defense compared to what the Washington State Cougars faced last year.
We were talking about this Austin Simmons from Ole Miss. He's 19 years old, Mark, and he's already has his bachelor's degree. He already graduated college. He's young, but obviously he's pretty smart. But that's a lot of NFL guys that graduated. But I think people are pretty high on him too. Where's Jackson Arnold rank in the hierarchy? Maybe in the bottom half. Probably in the bottom half, I would say.
He's got to win over Alabama.
He does.
I don't know. I think that Auburn feels pretty good about him. I mean, if you look what they had quarterback play with Peyton Thorne last year, I know that if we open up the phone lines, people will disparage Jackson Arnold. I mean, the Missouri game that he had last year wasn't very good, but I think that he's got some potential. He's going to need a really good offensive line. Auburn's got some good receivers. I think that he's going to be in a better situation at Auburn this year than he was last year at OU. I don't know that OU hasn't improved enough to say that it's a better situation this year. If he would stay in Norman, it might be close to that. But I think Auburn's got better wide receivers than OU does.
Jackson Arnold got sacked 34 times in 10 starts last year. Like you have to think that's not going to happen again. So there's a lot of external stuff with Jackson Arnold, why he didn't play well.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be too hard on him. Diego Pavia, the only quarterback who's old enough to rent a car on this list. So there's some juice to him.
Yeah. Is he 24, 25?
He might be just 24, so maybe not quite yet.
Still can't rent a
he's
car.
Closer than anybody else.
Closer than anybody else. I rented a car last night, and that was an epic pain in the ass. I mean, just epic.
Why is that? Like it was just like nightmare to get it in and out of there?
It was just because it was a last second decision. It was pretty expensive to Uber cab.
Oh, dude, everything is so expensive when you're traveling. It's nuts.
And then it was like, hey, your car won't be ready for an hour, but we could upgrade you to a more expensive car. I mean, I heard that same plea like 3 times. That
is such a grift.
It took a while.
Oh my God,
it's a complete pain in the ass.
Thank you, Pat.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay, second question here: which SEC coach is on the hot seat the most? So there's some hot seats now. I think Brent. I'm just going to say off the top, Brent is up there, if not number 1.
Is he top 3?
Definitely top 3.
Brian Kelly's in the hot seat. If they don't have a good year, if they have something like 7-5, that's going to be ugly on him. I think they're tougher on coaches than what Oklahoma is. It's
crazy because he's 29-11 with them. Brian Kelly is, but they haven't been in the playoff yet.
If it's not a fit, right? Like Eddie O, huge fit. Did you see the video of him? If I take my shirt off and dance at your wedding like that, I mean, I probably may get some weird looks. The video.
You might not be the only one, by the way.
Yeah,
doing that.
but
You might have company.
Eddie O was a fit for them, and I don't think that Ryan is. I think that's part of the problem there.
Did you see that video of the guy who tried to roll up on Eddie O? Who I can't even remember, who is a fan of Auburn or somebody like that, tried to roll up on him, and then Eddie O stood up to him a little bit, and the fan completely withered. Yeah, absolutely.
I did see that. That was good.
That was great. That was good stuff.
Eddie O would be here, but he's bench pressing somewhere. I mean, he doesn't have time. But I would say that Hugh Freeze is definitely on the hot seat, and then it goes to Venables at number 3.
Hugh Freeze, the golf stuff, not good for him. Sam Pittman.
I'm gonna say Pittman
been at Arkansas since 2020.
Pittman's there.
He seems safer now than he was last year this time. I don't know if I might be off on that, but that's what it feels like to me right now.
If things
Not
go
as many people
south,
talking about
if
it.
things go south in Florida, I think Napier could get back on it. I know they ended strong last year, but if they get off to a poor start, I think that talk will heat up again.
You're right.
All those guys are there. I mean, and I think it just depends on what kind of season. People are talking. Seems somewhat crazy about Venables in terms of number of wins. I mean, like some people think, if he doesn't win 8, then that's going to be it. I don't see it like that. I think it's very much dependent on what happens, how the season looks, how they play. If it's a losing record, I think he's got problems. If they have a winning season, then I think he's going to be in pretty good shape. There would have to be some disastrous stuff go on for him to have a winning season and then say, okay, you don't have one more year.
To say a number feels very arbitrary, because what if it's an
I agree.
injury situation like last year?
Yeah,
I don't think it will be, but
if he has any kind of really, really bad luck and it goes off the tracks the wrong way, that's a problem. I mean, that's not going to be good for him.
Well, there's been so much money spent on, I'm not even talking about players. I'm just talking about staff, but then all the portal additions and all of that. And there's been some serious money and some serious reconfiguring to try to get OU competitive in the SEC. If he can't hold up his end of the bargain, I might put him number 1, but I'm not, that's just my opinion. Just my opinion on Brent.
The last time they were on the field, they got beat by Navy.
Yeah, exactly. That was brutal. Kirby, Sark, Heupel, Beamer, Kiffin, Drinkwitz, all those guys are really, really safe.
All in good shape.
Elko, I'm interested to see what Elko does this year. He's calling plays defensively now at A&M.
Yeah, they have a fairly advantageous schedule. A&M does. They go to Notre Dame, I believe, but other than that, they go to Texas. But they've got some good games at home. They could be a sneaky team to win some games. Marcel Reed is not mentioned in the top quarterbacks in the league, but he got better as the season went along and really helped their offense once he got going.
Clark Lee, Vanderbilt, just to round out the rest of the coaches here. Had Vanderbilt, they were relevant, which is pretty good for them. What about DeBoer? What does he need to do this year? Because they had some ups and downs, to say the least, last year. Losing to Michigan, Vanderbilt, OU.
I think a lot depends on their quarterback play. Their offensive line is going to be really good, so you would expect that they're able to run the football. And it was a stretch, I use that term kind of figuratively, that different offense than Nick Saban had. He wants to have a vertical passing game and throw the ball down the field. So I think that there was a little bit of a change there. They got Ryan Williams, one of the best players in the country at wide receiver. That will help them. But I think
game changer.
I think most people feel like that they're easily in the top 3 of the league. If the top 3 is Texas, Georgia, Alabama is number 3. I think everybody else is trying to attain to get into that group.
Couple more we haven't mentioned here. Jeff Lebby at Mississippi State. You are working uphill, sir. That is a tough job.
He needs to win some games. I mean, like they won 0 conference games last year. I don't know how many years you can go without winning a conference game before you're on the hot seat. I think if you
they have not made a bowl game under Lebby, right? Have they made a bowl game?
No,
I don't think they have.
for him. And
1 year, right? Yeah, not 2. Yeah, so they got to make a bowl. I think to make everybody feel happier. But you got to win a conference game first, probably, like you're saying. Mark Stoops, that was disappointing last year. He's so consistent, but they were 4-8 last season.
I heard some guys here next to us. They're from Birmingham. They're talking about Mark Stoops, and the question was, wow, Kentucky wasn't very good last year, and they said, yeah, but 4-8 is about what Kentucky was every year before Mark Stoops got there, and he's had some great seasons with them. So no, I don't think that they are they're not going to be in the business of looking to fire Mark Stoops. Although, I mean, of the guys that you mentioned that are clearly safe, he's in the middle of the guys that are on the hot seat.
I think that's exactly right. And then I think every other one we mentioned besides Billy Napier, unless you said him earlier.
Matt did. Yeah. And
okay, Matt did. Yeah.
He's in. Yeah, he needs a win.
He needs to win games. So what do we expect from SEC Media Day? I heard you earlier say with the morning guys, you're going to have Shane Beamer tomorrow. Is that right?
Well, we're going to have him at some point during the summer. I mean, he's not going to be able to stop by and see us today. Like I said, here on Digital Drive, which is what they're calling Radio Row, there have been 0 players so far on this side or coaches. Haven't seen anyone.
Why does that make me upset that it's called Digital Drive instead of Radio Row? Why does that rub me the wrong way?
I can tell you why they did it is because there's people, streamers here and all kinds. It's not all radio, satellite, and that's why probably somebody got upset. So it needed to be all encompassing, digital.
It's digital, not radio. Oh man. Okay. Well, that's all right. We'll wrap our head around it. So, okay, there's an interesting report out there. Nick Saban, I want to get to when we return. Greg McElroy has some intel potentially on what Saban's future plans could be. Might not be what you think, so we'll get to that. If you have any questions about any SEC teams you'd like us to field, get them in 405-900-9957 Oklahoma or otherwise 405-900-WWLS. We also talked earlier about the most interesting teams in the SEC. Got a little bit of Thunder basketball as well when we return. This is The Drive. I'm at David Stanley, Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge. Free yourself from high payments. New ride, lower payment, up to $18,000 in cash back. No payments till 2026. Chargers, Challengers, Ram trucks, Jeeps. They got them here at David Stanley. We'll be right back on The Drive.
coaches and newsmakers as we get you set for the 2025 season. A lot more information available at sportsanimal.com and the Sports Animal app.
The Sports Animal Studios, powered by the OKC Thunder. Stay in season every season with gear from the official Thunder Shop. Check out the latest drops, exclusive merch, and more. Shop today at Paycom Center or OKCThunder.com/shop.
You guys are up.
Welcome back. It is The Drive on the Sports Animal. Matt Ravens here. David Stanley. Mark is in Atlanta, the College Football Hall of Fame for SEC Media Days. Mark, if you see George Stoya walking around there, that dude got married over the weekend, had a mini honeymoon, and now is covering SEC Media Days. That is crazy. That is dedication.
No, I didn't think they were getting here till tomorrow. Terry and Eddie and the rest of us. They come tomorrow. They're flying in tomorrow, I think.
I think so. Although I heard Kerry say he didn't have his real ID, so I don't really know how that's going to go. He might have to drive.
Kerry got that solved.
Good deal.
Yeah,
good deal. Good deal. But our friend George, man, I saw some of the pictures from his wedding and all that, and he was stressed out last week, and it's probably going to feel. So if I'm chaotic this week at all, it's just reflective of my mental state.
Now,
Mark.
let me
So
ask you a
just
question
know
about
that.
being stressed out over your wedding. What do you have? What responsibilities do you have? You have no responsibilities, right?
If it goes poorly, it just happens, and it's my day anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I just get anxious about everything, and then it's like there's gonna be 175 people there, so that's a lot of like making sure everybody feels seen and heard, and I'm not good at that stuff. So I think that's probably it.
I mean, but usually the bride and the groom are separate on the wedding day, so that means whatever goes haywire that day, you aren't responsible for. It's just out of your
true.
realm. You just have to show up, and if it's gone,
No, it's out of my hands.
Yeah, you got
You're
nothing
right.
to worry about. I'm going to try to set your mind at easier. You just have to be at the church on time. That is very important. That could be stressful if you're not, at that or be where the wedding is, and then you're good to go, man. You're good to go.
Now, I was telling Matt this earlier. I did have an injury this weekend at the bachelor weekend. So at some point, I got to fit in probably an urgent care visit to go get x-rays. That's a whole other thing, too.
Did you discuss anything about the bachelor party? Did I miss that today earlier? While I was
just kind of to start the show, I did. Yeah, you gave me some great barbecue recommendations, but like one of the places is open like Wednesday through Friday. All the best barbecue places have like weird hours, and so I didn't get to go to Span Man. I didn't get to go to the one in Idabel either.
Yeah,
Fat Tap.
That stinks. But you guys had fun.
Oh, I had a great time, man. Ho Chi Town's crazy now. There's all these Dallas people there. There's all these Arkansas people there. And they're building all these huge, massive cabins, and it's just crazy now. They need 2 lanes on that highway, man. There's so much traffic. There's traffic jam every day, all the time. It seems like.
The last time I was down there, I floated the Mountain Fork River, which I've done a few times. I like doing that. That's not. You're not going.
We should have done that.
Yeah, you're not going to get any kind of outdoorsman award for it. I mean, but it's enough fun.
That was some fun. I don't know if the weather would have held for that. It was crazy. I know it was crazy here in OKC. We had a little bit of severe weather too in Broken Bow, also. Did you get anything?
Well, I know this is that I flew out of Dallas last night. Had to fly like all the way north to almost Tulsa to get around the weather, the town.
Oh my gosh.
sea that was out there.
That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't think about how that would affect your travel plans. I'm sure that didn't help the frustration with the car rental, everything that came before. How to get diverted and all that.
It was a long night last night, but I think we're putting it behind us today. We're good to go.
Good deal. Well, Mark's down in Atlanta for SEC Media Day, doing a great job covering all that. And I should tell you again, if you're not on the Sports Animal app, first of all, I don't know what you're doing. You should have that. But you can find a video stream of Mark at SEC Media Days, YouTube, Facebook as well. Just search WWLS and you will find that. I did want to talk for a second before we get to the Giants text line about some Summer League stuff, Mark. The more I watch Brooks Barnheiser, he can defend and steal the ball and get really physical with you, but he's also committed like 3 fouls through Summer League action, even though you get 10 a game. Like this guy is not only a real high motor, physical guy, he's also really smart and instinctual. And I could see the vision there with him. If he could shoot at all, I think he's a guy. I think he's a dude for sure.
He had 7 steals in one game.
Stupid.
I mean, in the first game that he played in, he had a steal in like the first 15, 20 seconds. I think he can shoot. I mean, it's different shooting in college than it is shooting in the NBA. And usually if the younger you are, the better you have a chance to improve. And he is not young by any means as far as a college player coming into the NBA. But yeah, I think Sam Presti I think he was scared to death or really nervous leading up to that pick in the second round. Because I think he really wanted him and was probably not expecting somebody else to take him. But you could tell, I think he was pretty happy to be able to get him where they did.
I think so. I just like when I say I want him to shoot, just talking about a guy who defenses have to respect, because that offense at Northwestern, really offense is a college basketball period. It's so tough because it's almost a different sport with all the spacing on the floor, and they had zero spacing when he played in college. At least last year, their offense was not great at all. If he can make guys guard him, I think he might force his way into the rotation. And he's like to me, Mark, he's a 3 who can maybe play like a small ball 4 even.
I agree. I think so. I mean,
which is intriguing.
He's going to be a wing player. Another one of those guys that Oklahoma City can roll out that I think can guard bigger players and be physical and be tough. Like Cason Wallace, to me, more of a guy that guards quick players. The 2 guys they drafted this year are replacements for iHeart and Lou potential, right? I mean,
gives you the option potentially if they can live up. And I told Matt this. I mean, like between this draft, next draft, and the one after that, if you could hit on 2-3 rotation players, that's probably what you need to continue to try to sustain this thing. And I'm talking about guys who can play and impact the game. So you got to hit on some of those. As far as Topic, Mark, I am not trying to put a bunch of emphasis on summer league with him. As young as he is, coming off that injury, but I am starting to see him feel it out. And 10 assists in summer league game, that never happens. Guys never rack up that many assists in a summer league game.
I can't remember which game it was. It was against Brooklyn, but I think he's driving down, he's going to the basket, and he just kind of flips it right back to someone filling the lane for a dunk. I mean, he's got elite basketball skills, passing the basketball. I mean, I think that's probably the toughest thing to acquire. It's easier to shoot in the NBA than it is to have that kind of floor vision, but that doesn't mean that he's going to make a bunch of threes.
Yeah, and again, you need to be able to shoot. Otherwise, it's a Josh Giddey situation again. And now you can see Josh Giddey all over him. I don't think you think he's more athletic than Giddey is, or you think it's about the same?
I'd say he's a little more athletic.
I agree. I that's how I see it too. I just didn't know if I was off on that. It's not crazy. And you know what, Mark? I don't think you need to be an amazing 99 percentile athlete in the NBA. There's a lot of guys who just are able to use their body and have a feel for the game, like you're saying. And I could see it with Topic. I'm not going to go crazy. I want to see him in where he's at in like February or March, before I really make up my mind on him. But I'm grading him on a little bit of a curve, and I'm starting to see him play better in summer league.
And
for what it's worth,
there's zero expectations on all of this. Zero.
That's the great thing. Yeah, those guys can just. I'm sure they place expectations themselves, but yeah, there's no pressure for them to step in and contribute to this team right away. Just won a title. Do you feel any kind of way about Chris Youngblood? Because there's a lot of people on the text line who are like, "There's got to be a roster spot for this guy," and I think he's an NBA player, Mark. I just don't know where he fits in on the Thunder.
Well, he shot it really well so far. I don't know that necessarily continues, but he looks pretty comfortable out there. Isaiah Joe played so little in the last couple of rounds of the playoffs. We've kind of forgotten about him, and he's under contract for the next 4 years, 3 years. It would be kind of in a role like that. But the Thunder, it's so difficult to break into the lineup. Yeah, I think he's got a really good chance to stick on somebody's team, but I don't think it's going to be in Oklahoma City.
Club option for Isaiah Joe in 2027. So like this year after, and then that the third year is the club option there. So it would have to be something like moving him or moving Ousmane Dieng, which I definitely think can still happen for the Thunder. Let's get to the Giants Kitchen and Bartek.
Two-way deals, right?
Yes. Yeah, two-way contracts, and you can have like an Exhibit 10 on top of that, I think. But you can have 2 additional two-way players.
Okay.
And we got this question on the Giants Kitchen of our text line. Mark said SEC Media Days. How many on OU's schedule would you consider a toss-up?
Most of them.
How many games on OU's schedule are a toss-up or worse?
Well, they've got some
most of them
wins. I mean, Illinois State, Kent State, and Temple. Those are guaranteed wins. right?
I don't see any other guarantees. I agree. And I don't see any other guarantees of anything. I see some coin flippy type of games, but they're not one I would circle and say that's automatically a win.
So
And I see games where OU's going to beat underdogs.
The games that they'll be the biggest underdog is going to be Texas. They'll be the biggest underdog in that game. I think close to like a 10-point underdog. They'll be a fairly big underdog at Alabama. But when you're talking about Illinois State, Kent State, and Temple, OU's going to be 40-point favorites in those games. So those are guaranteed wins. Do I think they're going to win all the rest of them? No. Do I think they could win any of the rest of them? Yeah. I mean, if things went incredibly well. I mean, the OU-Texas rivalry, Texas should be favored, will be favored. I'd be surprised if Oklahoma won, but I've seen a lot of those games and have crazy results and haywire results. So,
what do they need to do in some of these in these home games? I'm talking about Michigan, Auburn. I'm talking about Ole Miss, Missouri, LSU. That's 5 games.
Well,
They need to win them.
They need.
They're not going 5-0 in those.
No,
games,
but
They need
in order to have any kind of a season, they need to win the majority, if not all.
They need
Yeah,
to
at
beat
least-
Missouri. I know that Eli Drinkwitz barked at Bob for saying something about, we beat Missouri. I mean, OU beats Missouri in football. They've done that for 100 years. I mean, they need to beat Missouri. If you start losing games to Missouri year in and year out,
It's like 6-7, 25-5.
you
It's
just
not
shut
even
down the
close.
program. Right. I mean,
Not even close.
They need to win that one. And I think the second one they need to win at home is Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss has a massive rebuilding job, and that's not a place that just falls out of bed and wins games. I mean, they had an elite team last year. They were number 2 in the country in total defense. They were number 3 in the country in total offense, and somehow they didn't go to the college football playoff. They got beat at home by Kentucky. This last year was the year for Ole Miss. They're breaking in a new quarterback this year. They got all kinds of transfer players, but they're rebuilding this roster, and Ole Miss it's not Alabama, Georgia. I mean, they won one SEC championship in football before I was born. So that's one OU needs to. That's a home game. They need to win that.
So that's at least 2. I think we all agree on.
So
and then
there's
one
5.
more.
I mean, they could win the other games at home. I mean, they could win. The rest of them are going to be tough, but those you got to find some wins somewhere else on the schedule.
The back half,
Auburn, again, I think Auburn, to me, might be as tough as Ole Miss, but if that doesn't count Michigan. So if you can win those 3, if you can win Auburn, Ole Miss, and Missouri at home, you're now at 6 wins. You just have to pick a couple more off someplace, and then you've got an 8-win season. That's really good. To me, I think that's really good.
Do you, Matt and Mark, both think they'll split Michigan and Auburn? You think they'll win both of those? I would say they'll split. I'm going to say that right now. They'll win one of those. They'll lose one.
I think there is a better chance they win both than lose both. If I had to bet money, I would say they split those.
If they lose both,
they're in real trouble.
If they lose both, we'll
Brent's
be
in trouble,
talking
yeah.
about the week after
A new
the
head
national
coach.
game, who's going to be the new
Yeah.
coach.
Yep.
If they win both, we'll be talking about them winning the national championship. It's a better chance if they win both. I mean, Michigan's coming in.
College
with a
football's
very
awesome.
Inexperienced quarterback.
And they've got the older Mikey Keene, I think his name is, as like a backup, but
They had
a plan B.
The former Tech quarterback that won the bowl game last year beat Alabama, but I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Chances are that they start the number 1 recruit.
Underwood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's that'll be tall cotton for him. But hey, man, I can't wait. Mark's at SEC Media Day, and you can go check us out on the app, on Facebook, on YouTube. Download the Sports Animal app. Best way to listen to us if you're not in all over the air. Probably just the best way to listen to us. Period. I'm here today at David Stanley, Chrysler Jeep and Dodge. Free yourself from high payments. You can buy any new Chrysler Jeep or Dodge. They're determined to lower your current car payment. Great inventory here, and they will throw in the tag title and tax plus no payments till next year. When we come back, we got to honor some of the young baseball players in the state of Oklahoma who just got drafted, including an OU player who got drafted, Mark's Cardinals. We'll tell you who next when we return on the Sports Animal.
OKC, your Oklahoma City Thunder.
thesportsanimal.com/listen now. That's thesportsanimal.com/listen now.
Who delivered an elevated performance? Sponsored by Garage Living, creators of luxury garage interiors. Transform your space from functional to phenomenal with customized design solutions from Garage Living.
Swung on fly ball, left field deep, back to the monster. It is off the top and out of here. He does it again. He always does it. It's 4-1 Sox in the sixth.
Red Sox winning over the Tampa Bay Rays. Hey, we got some baseball news. I mean, Jordy Mercer, our friend Mark, tweeted this earlier. Oklahoma, underrated baseball state. For some reason, never gets mentioned, and I guess I understand why. But if we're talking per capita, man, I mean, the amount of great baseball players that come out of here. And then you had Eli Willits, number 1 overall, the youngest number 1 overall pick since Ken Griffey. This is what Matt told me earlier. And you had Ethan Holiday going to the Rockies. That was awesome. Kyson Witherspoon goes to the Red Sox, who we just heard from. And then your Cardinals just drafted Cade Crossland in the 4th round.
Oh, okay.
From OU.
They need pitching. Cardinals need some pitching. Oklahoma State and Choctaw High School, Gabe Davis, drafted in the 5th round by the Chicago White Sox, which just happened. The Red Sox were my pick to win the American League East this year. And part of the premise of that was that Aaron Judge would regress somewhat. Didn't happen. The Yankees have been a streaky team. The Red Sox have been a streaky team, but they've got it within 3 at the All-Star break.
What do you think about Ethan Holiday going to the Rockies? I mean, that felt preordained with some of those old baby pictures of Ethan in the Rockies uniform. That was really cool.
It stunk though that he didn't fall to the Cardinals. I would have loved to see Ethan Holiday in a Cardinal uniform. Probably for his career,
Sure.
It's good to go to Colorado. I mean, I think he's going to fast track it to the major leagues, I would think, and then hitting in that park should still be pretty good. Cardinals organization is a little bit of a mess right now, but.
Did you see the pitcher who was drafted, Mark and Matt, by the Twins? And I don't know exactly where they selected him, but he's from Oregon. He's 6'11", 215, and he throws 98 miles an hour.
Another big unit, huh?
Yeah, exactly right. I wonder how difficult do you think it is for him to find pants, being that skinny and having that long legs? I don't know what his pants would be.
No, that's a good question. I don't know. Or
28, 70, or something like that. Looks like Slender Man.
That's good. Yeah, that was cool last night to see Eli Willits go number 1 overall. Like I said, it's great family. Yeah. I mean, Reggie Willits, I watched him play high school basketball at Fort Cobb. He and his sister Wendy, who's a high school basketball coach in Oklahoma at Shawnee. They're awesome. That's great news for them.
Matt and I had a conversation about All-Star Weekend earlier. First of all, I heard you say how much the upper deck prices were for the Home Run Derby. How much was it?
Like $300. Let's check that right now.
That's crazy. That's not worth it, man. I catch that at a bar or something. I mean, it'd be cool to be in the ballpark, but for that money, that's you better be seeing a real baseball game.
And it's not only that, but like you said, you're going to just be baking out there at 8:00 at night.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's section
no kidding.
28, row 2, $165. I mean that is.
That's
I might
nuts.
be able to see that just as well from Dallas.
Yeah.
So it's under 200 now. Be up there. I guess I could go sit in the bleachers and maybe catch some home run balls for $200.
Up at the 400 level, you're not catching a home run ball, though, right?
No, because you're behind the plate.
That wouldn't happen,
right?
Oh yeah, you'd be behind the plate. Okay, I was imagining the outfield. Gotcha. Well. Matt and I were having this conversation about the All-Star game earlier. It used to be the Midsummer Classic, and that was not a fictitious thing to say. Now it feels the farthest thing from the Classic. I don't know if that's a promotional thing. Matt has some great ideas on interleague play and the availability of baseball to watch on television, but it just doesn't feel the same anymore. And I want to blame it on the MLB's marketing problem, but it's probably a complicated reason. But do you feel that way about the All-Star game?
I'll tell you what, I mean, the buzz here is significantly more than the buzz was last year in Arlington, I mean, it is.
So they're excited in Atlanta for it.
Yes, they are very excited in Atlanta to have it here. I mean, a lot of talk about it. They were doing live shots this morning on local television at 6:00. Dude was out there in the dark. So yes,
Did you say there's a Beyonce concert too going? I mean, this is a place to be, Atlanta.
This is the
a lot of events.
Night of Beyonce at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
How many total? 4 or 4, or are there more?
4.
That is an unbelievable amount of tickets sold, and I'm sure she sells it out. I mean, you have to.
Jay-Z was here last night. Yeah, that you could already tell the big presence of Beyonce fans downtown.
Queen Bee. That's amazing. And the rule about everybody's got to have an all-star player. There's fewer baseball stars, at least ones that are recognizable, which might go back to the MLB promotion problem, but just not the same as it used to be. And I guess that's fine. But I used to get fired up about the all-star game. Now it feels like a footnote.
There was Jacob Mizrowski. Just the dust up on that.
Yeah, the Phillies were mad about that,
Yes.
but like 12 pitchers declined before him.
Yeah.
A month into his career is going to be an all-star.
It's the fewest. If he plays in the All-Star game, it will be the player with the least experience ever to play in and participated in an All-Star game.
Yeah.
Because he's got 4
5
starts.
games.
5 games, 5.
Five games total.
I mean,
Yeah.
a little
Paul
bit
Skeens
bad-
had 11.
A little bit
at
bad
least.
for the Phillies because those 2 pitchers are both really, really, really good. I guess that Major League Baseball may have assumed yesterday that since was it Sanchez that started yesterday that he wasn't going to be able to pitch.
There's a Cubs pitcher, Matthew Boyd, because he was pitching. Yeah.
Couldn't pitch, so they needed to find a substitute. So then they picked Mizrowski. I don't.
They went down to 12 different pitchers before him, is what I had read. That they went through all these different ones and then landed on him. He's got electric stuff, but
Yeah.
5 games.
Well, I
5
games.
games.
Screw it. I mean, we'll this guy has been so good in those first few starts that they'll just give it to him.
Paul Skeens 11, Mark Fidrich 13, Hideo Nomo 13, and Dontrell Willis 13. Those are all the players with the fewest games. He's got 5. Next closest is Paul Skeens with 11.
That's really good company.
That is. All right, Mark, we will turn things over to you. Mark's down at SEC Media Days. Go check it out on YouTube, the app, and the Facebook page as well. It's all going to be on the podcast page, too, so we're going to have great coverage down there for the next several days. Big thanks to David Stanley, Chrysler Jeep and Dodge. Also want to say thanks to Matt Meyer back in studio, Louis Elder here on site for making sure that we stayed on air, make sure we sound as good as possible. Middle of the day shows up next.
powered by Fenceworks. He's well known in the sports community.
I don't know.
His athleticism is in question.
You haven't even got a name tag. You've got no chance.
And he's ready to talk sports.
Give him a call, see what the dealio is.
This is the Middle of the Day Show with Mark Rodgers on 98.1 WWLS, the sports animal.
Welcome to the Middle of the Day Show from SEC Media Days at the Omni Hotel, College Football Hall of Fame here in Atlanta. Sam Humphries returns. Sam, how you doing, man?
Doing great, Marcus. What's up?
How is Hope?
She is doing absolutely awesome. Reagan is doing absolutely awesome. It was scary there just after birth. You know, they had to put her on oxygen for about 45 minutes, and our prayers were answered, and Hope is here, and she is healthy. Reagan's healthy, so it's been all good. But I got to tell you, this feels like a vacation getting back to work here.
Well, good. That's good. I'm glad. Yeah, this is a good job, man. When you are away for a while, you miss being able to talk to everybody with what's going on.
No doubt. And we got a good week for it, too. SEC Media Days, 4 days.
I know. And another day closer to the start of the football season. What a week it was for golf in Oklahoma.
How about that, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, we had Chris Gotterup going toe-to-toe with Rory McIlroy and getting the job done. How clutch was he on those 4 to 8 foot putts, and ends up winning the Scottish Open. And then you had Taylor Gooch win Live Andalusia in Spain. So two really good performances there from Oklahoma golfers this weekend headed into the British Open.
So give me a little background on Gotterup. I know he played at OU. I know he was outstanding there. He transferred to Oklahoma from Rutgers, right?
That's
right?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, grew up in New Jersey. Yeah, he had an illustrious amateur or junior career in New Jersey. And, he played for 3 years at Rutgers, and then he was a grad transferred to play for Hibble at OU, and won the Haskins Award when he was at OU, which is like the golf equivalent to the Heisman.
And it's not a surprise. I mean, like, this guy is super talented. I mean, it's not a surprise that he's having some success on the
I would say, I was talking to one of my buddies this weekend. I would say that Chris Gotterup is the second most talented player to ever play at the University of Oklahoma, only behind Anthony Kim.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. To beat Rory McIlroy in the Scottish Open, not many people have won the Scottish Open from the United States. And it gets him in the British Open, right? I mean, so that.
Yes, it does.
He would not have been in without it, correct?
Yeah, yes, that's correct. So he'll be in the British Open next week. Taylor Gooch will not be in, by the way. He is not qualified for the British Open, but Chris Gotterup, yeah, I mean, he won the Scottish Open, and he's had some other good finishes. He won in Myrtle Beach in an opposite field event last year. He finished 16th in Puerto Rico this year, 18th in Houston. But his last few events, you kind of saw it trending in the right direction. He finished 23rd at the U.S. Open, 26th at the Rocket Classic, and then 21st at the John Deere. So he's figuring something out. And a lot of times with these young guys, it just takes them a minute to kind of get settled into PGA Tour life. And the kid absolutely bombs it. He is rock solid, like I said, from 4 to 8 feet. And that's what you got to be to win these golf tournaments. And the thing I like the most about him, Mark, and especially watching him go head-to-head against Rory yesterday, is he's not scared of the moment. So I thought that was the biggest statement that he made is, I don't care if it's Rory McIlroy, I'm going to go out there and try to beat you.
Is Rory back enough that you would consider him winning this week?
No, I don't think so. And I think one of the other reasons why I would not pick him this week, I thought it was maybe going to be an advantage for him playing in his home country of Northern Ireland. I don't necessarily see it that way right now. After what we saw after he won the Masters, I feel like it might be a little too much pressure on Rory to try to win a major championship in his home country. And we know what happens to Rory with extra pressure on his shoulders. So I would stay away from Rory this week.
Trying to figure him out from week to week is pretty difficult. I mean, it tells me, though, if he did play that well last week, he's absolutely capable of playing that well this week.
Absolutely. No, I'm not saying that he can't win. I'm just saying that I wouldn't necessarily pick him. One thing that does help him at a British Open is that it's a little more wide open. And what has he struggled with after the Masters? It's his driver. And so if he were to win, a major championship, hitting the ball off the tee the way he's been hitting it, it wouldn't be like at a U.S. Open or PGA. It would be more likely at a British Open.
have to look at the odds and see where we are. Have you made a pick this week, or are you considering anyone?
I have not. I have not made a pick yet. I know that John Rahm is playing well. He gave Taylor Gooch a pretty good run for his money, made 3 straight birds to cut it to 1, and then Taylor closed him out at the end. So John Rahm is playing well. Scotty Scheffler, always going to be the favorite. Another guy who I kind of like there would be a Tyrrell Hatton from Liv. Let's see what Data Golf is saying as far as their favorites this week. Let's see here, Mark. They also like DeChambeau, Fleetwood, Henley, Thomas, Schauffele. Schauffele's been playing some better golf recently.
But his best, he's certainly capable of winning. I mean, Fleetwood, holy cow. I mean, it would be a hell of a win for his first win.
Can you believe that he still has not won on the PGA Tour? That's crazy to me.
It is crazy. I mean, if he was going to win, I mean, the last one that he didn't win would have been the one to win.
Victor Hovland, another guy to look at. Finished 3rd in the U.S. Open, 11th in the Scottish Open. Last 2 times he's teed it up.
This one just a little more because of the course, because it's the British Open, a little more wide open than the previous 2 majors.
Without a doubt. And the British Open always comes down to which wave gets the better draw, right?
Yeah.
So, and what I mean by that for casual golf fans out there, it's the weather. I mean, if you get the good draw of the weather, you're probably going to have a better chance to win the golf tournament than being in the bad draw.
It is odd that this is the last major, that this will be it for majors for the season. And then I guess we've got the Ryder Cup.
Got the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black. That's right. What's going on down in Atlanta, Mark?
Oh, what, the Ryder Cup?
Do what?
It's not, the Ryder Cup's not in Atlanta, right?
No, I'm saying what's going on down in Atlanta?
Well, we have got some of the players have arrived for the first time back here in the digital drive. Diego Pavia was just on with the Nashville station that is next to us here to the left. The Vanderbilt players are dressed in tuxedos today. That's pretty impressive. Pavia had on a watch that was it. I mean, it had all kinds of bling to it. I mean, it was reflecting off every light in here.
I'm looking at him walking in right now. He has the chain, he's got the earrings, the watch, the sunglasses, the bow tie. The man is ready for media days.
Will there be a Pavia party this year? Will they upset someone at home? It cannot be the University of Oklahoma. We know that. They are not on the schedule. If Oklahoma plays Vanderbilt this year, it will be in the SEC championship game, and that would be the most unlikely SEC championship game ever staged.
Looking up Vandy's schedule right now. Let's see here. All right. They start off August 30th against Charleston Southern. I'll give them that one. Then they go at Virginia Tech, at South Carolina. At South Carolina is going to be a tough game. At Virginia Tech, that crowd is always nuts, but I don't know a whole lot about Virginia Tech this year, Mark. Maybe you do. Then they go Georgia State, then Utah State, and then they go to Alabama. If they upset Alabama, it would have to be in Tuscaloosa. Then a bye week, then LSU at home, Missouri at home, at Texas on November 1st, and then Auburn at home, bye week, and then Kentucky, and then at Tennessee.
I know Virginia Tech must not have thought that their schedule was tough enough because they open the season against South Carolina and then they play Vanderbilt, right? So they've got a couple of SEC games on the schedule there. Well, Vandy will get off to a good start. I mean, they'll beat Utah State. They'll beat Charleston Southern. It's absolutely possible for them to be able to beat Virginia Tech. They've got to go to Alabama this year. They've got LSU as a home game. They go to Texas. So those aren't going to be really easy for them. It's a fairly difficult schedule. So
I love watching Pavia, though. Don't you?
Today, we've got Ole Miss, South Carolina, LSU, and Vanderbilt. Those are the 4 representatives. So each day, 2 teams come in the morning, 2 teams come in the afternoon, and we will have Lane Kiffin at the podium in about 15 minutes. And so we're going to take some of that audio of Lane Kiffin as Ole Miss prepares to do their interviews this afternoon. Like last year has to be incredibly disappointing for them. And if you look through the history of the Ole Miss program, there's not a ton of great seasons. It's just kind of average. SEC championships have been dominated by the blue bloods in this conference. Just dominated. I mean, you'd think every once in a while some of these teams would fall into a championship. South Carolina, 0 championships. Arkansas, 0 championships. Ole Miss, none since the 60s. Mississippi State, 0 championships. Vanderbilt, 0 championships. So it's just really, really difficult. And you put together a team like Ole Miss had last year, and hey, talent. Again, they got a top 3 offense, top 2 defense in the country, and they lose at home to Kentucky, which is going to keep them out of playing for a national championship. I mean, that one may be really difficult to get over, but Ole Miss has had so few outstanding seasons. I think that the fan base is still fairly happy with that one, and I think they also believe in Lane Kiffin to the point that they feel like, okay, it's going to happen again. But they have got a lot of holes to fill this year. Lots. A bunch up front on the defensive side of the ball, defensive line. Quarterback will be an interesting position. Kiffin's had a lot of success with quarterbacks. Offensive line, they lost an offensive lineman that was a starter for them that left in the transfer portal, even though they do have a lot of guys coming in. So I think that's one of the more curious teams in the league. But for Oklahoma, we spent a lot of time last year talking about their schedule and how difficult their schedule was. I think last year's schedule, it lived up to expectations of what it should have been. Now, Missouri played OU with a backup quarterback. That was a gettable game, I think. South Carolina was better, I think, than anyone thought that they might be. They certainly played that way the day that they came to Norman. But this year, it backs off a little. You get home games against Ole Miss, Missouri, Auburn. If OU has improved their roster the way that people think they have, if their defense is still at a level to compete the way that it did last year, then I think OU's going to win those games or have a really good chance to win those games. And when you get to the upper tier, a little bit different tier of the league, like LSU, Alabama, Tennessee, those are going to be tough. Those are going to be pretty tough to win. So it all revolves around, you can't have mulligans. You can't have a bad game and get beat at home by one of those teams. Auburn, Ole Miss, Missouri. Is it OU will be favored in those or close to being favored in those, I think.
According to Phil Steele, he's not very high on Ole Miss. I mean, he's got Austin Simmons ranked 10th in the conference, running back core 14th, receivers 4th. Now they got Stribling. Everyone knows about him around here. Went to OSU, transferred to Ole Miss. And then offensive line 12th in the SEC, defensive line 7th in the SEC, linebackers 7th in the SEC, DBs 13th in the SEC, and special teams 13th.
Yeah, Stribling is going to be their number one receiver. At least he's by far their most proven. They've got a 5-star recruit out of Mississippi. I don't know if he's in the same level as Williams or Smith at Ohio State and Alabama that set the college football world on fire last year as freshmen. I would say no. But it is not the same Ole Miss this year going into this season. Not the same. A little bit different than what it was a year ago. All right, we're going to have all kinds of coverage from here today and then over the next 2 days. Texas, Tennessee tomorrow afternoon. Oklahoma is in on Wednesday afternoon. So we'll look forward to visiting with those OU players. R. Mason Thomas, John Mateer, and Robert Spears Jennings will be the 3 OU players here with Brent Venables. And I mean, there has been hardly any media availability with Brent Venables this summer. Not even seen him. So he has not spoken to the media in a long time. It'll be good to hear what he has to say and get his thoughts on everything that's going on at Oklahoma. It's been some changes with Joe Castiglione retiring as athletic director. All right, we want to hear from you. We got time. We're going to take some phone calls. We don't have any interviews set up right now, just this next couple of segments. So give us a call, 405-900-9957. You want to talk SEC football, anything that's going on here over the next 3 days. 405-900-9957 on Lucky Star studio line. You can also text us on the Johnny's Kitchen and Bar text line, 405-900-9957. We're reading those texts, and we're getting to those. Lane Kiffin's going to be at the podium. We'll hear from him coming up next right here on the Middle of the Day Show.
Sports Animal Studios, powered by the OKC Thunder. Ready to unlock more thunder? Get in the game with a ticket membership. Make your deposit now to save your seat for the 2025-26 season. Go to OKCThunder.com/activate. Who set the foundation for the win?
I'm watching it, Mark.
Restoring health one smile at a time and building a foundation of trust with every patient. Visit restorationdental.com.
Foundation for the win. Give it to Chris Goddard. What? That's tough to do. When the Scottish Open, all of a sudden, like, okay, got to figure out how to stay another week over here across the pond. So now I got to play in the British Open. Who Set the Foundation is brought to you by Restoration Dental, restoring health one smile at a time and building a foundation of trust with every patient. You can find out more information by visiting restorationdental.com right there in OKC. So congratulations again to Chris Goddard and Taylor Gooch, who won on Live this past weekend. Good weekend for the Oklahoma golfers. Be really cool to see that continue. Maybe somebody from the state could win a major.
Hey, one more thing on Goddard. Do you think he should have to host our fantasy league draft now?
Okay, explain to me why that would happen.
I mean, he's obviously about to upgrade the house after getting that win, right? So we got to have the fantasy draft at the new crib.
Is he in your fantasy league?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. Oh, no, I didn't know that. Yeah, he should have. Well, he should cater it.
Yeah, of course he should.
Now,
Absolutely.
You still have not done your Waffle House challenge.
No, well, that's a different league. So I actually won the Oak Tree League and finished last in the league with the Waffle House Challenge. So my man Cameron Myers in the Oak Tree League is going to have to do the beer mile before this draft that I'm talking about. But you're right. I need to get the Waffle House Challenge done sometime this month.
So the beer mile is a beer every quarter mile until you've run a mile?
That's correct. Yes.
Dude, so much easier than the Waffle House Challenge. Way easier, right?
So much easier. See, the Waffle House Challenge, I'm going to have to get there at like, I don't know, 6 a.m. and spend around 13 hours, right? That would be around 12 waffles.
I don't think you can eat 12 waffles. I think you can eat.
The record, Dalkey has the record at 13.
You should. Dalkey is just big, right? I mean,
he's a tank, yeah.
You need to plan on being there. I would go 16 hours, 8 waffles.
That's a long time in a Waffle House.
Yeah.
8 waffles? I can do more than that.
I mean, what's the strategy? I mean, like once if you go big early, dude, your stomach is going to be hurting so bad that I don't know that there's anything you can do about it, right?
Yeah, but you get out of the Waffle House faster.
Unless you just power it down. I mean, like I don't know. I mean, Boy, I don't know. I don't know. That's a little scary.
And what's the play? Do I not eat the entire day before?
No, I think that makes it worse. I mean, I'd eat like normally, maybe not eat anything before you go to bed. But the problem is just, I mean, if you go hard at the beginning.
The key, I'm going to have to dip the waffles in water, right? You can't put syrup on them. That's where people throw up.
I can't even think of a good reason to eat a waffle without syrup on it. I probably over syrup my waffles to begin with. I put too much syrup on them. But yeah, if you want your best chance of getting out of there, that would help. I mean, you wet it down with water.
Yeah, do the Joey Chestnut and jump up and down a little bit.
It's easier to do it. Yeah. Would you have traded? Like, would you have gone, hey, I'll give up my championship to finish in the middle of both leagues?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I would. And I had the first overall pick in the league I finished last. Never draft Christian McCaffrey. I will never do it again. I've done it twice, and I've finished last in that league multiple times. And it's been the 2 years that he's been hurt.
It's probably sound advice. Not with the number 1 overall pick. That should be a strategy every year, almost in every league. You have to put emphasis on, is my guy going to be healthy? If you draft the running back, there's a really good chance that he's out.
Yeah.
For a period of time. I heard someone talking on sports talk about drafting Ashton Genty #1 overall.
No way.
Going to give him the ball a bunch. Give him the ball a bunch. He's going to get the opportunities. I think you got to go receiver at #1. I mean, the receivers are scoring just as many touchdowns as running backs for the most part. You're drafting Jamar Chase, #1.
Mm-hmm. Justin Jefferson.
Yes. Those are the guys that,
That's sound advice.
running backs, it's hard to say.
The only way you get behind the 8 ball is if you get in that situation where your #1 overall pick gets hurt and then you don't pick again until 24. So you're basically just giving up a first-round draft pick and playing, behind the 8 ball the entire season.
It's tough to do, man. It's tough. What's the best time on the beer mile?
That is a question that I would have to ask our group text. I'll ask it right now. We'll see what they say.
Did you see Baker Mayfield shotgunning a beer with a fan at the Tahoe?
I did not.
Yes, he did. Alex Caruso also played in the pro.
I saw that
out there.
I saw that.
Boy,
a hockey player won it, right?
It is a good thing. The ultimate is gone this week. Is he out of the country? He's gone.
He's in Reno. He's where that tournament was.
Oh, man.
The American Century.
Can you imagine if he's in Tahoe? He only would have been in Reno for a little bit. They land in the Reno airport, and there's Baker Mayfield getting on a plane to go someplace. That would have been video gold if it would have happened.
Punk.
Don't have to listen to Jim complain about Baker Mayfield's morals.
You're just an absolute fool. The most spoiled punk.
The dude had an old school Mayfield Browns jersey on. I think he probably felt like he needed to pay it off with the fans. What
did all the OU fans do with their Browns jerseys?
I don't have a problem at all. I think they threw him away. That's probably never coming back, right?
Man, he's in a great situation now. Mike Evans, even, who wanted to leave before last season, he's content to stay.
I've seen a lot of these like quarterback tiers. Man, he is climbing the ladder of the quarterback tiers.
I mean, what was he? 4th in QBR last season, right?
He's had a really
or was
good
it touchdowns?
2 seasons. I mean, but going in with all those statistics are also victories. The Bucs keep winning that division.
That's right. Everyone liked Atlanta before last season, remember? With Kirk Cousins going there.
You'd figure that the Bucs run is about to be over, but they've, he's won a playoff game in that mix. I think he's up there when it comes to NFC quarterbacks. It's been a great resurrection of his career. That's for sure.
Now, how was the golf? Do we know?
I don't know where he finished. Who did he play with?
I am not sure. Let's see the leaderboard here. Oh, I'm scrolling. He must not have played very well. he was minus 36, which is not good in a Stableford format that they play. Like, for instance, Joe Pavelski, the hockey player that won it, had 73 total points.
Yes.
Baker was minus 36.
What?
Yeah, he finished, let's see, what would that make? He was 83rd.
And who did he play with?
It's not a pro-am. It was just
okay.
It's a celebrity golf tournament. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, that's not very good. Not very good at all.
He was one shot better than Justin Reed and just behind Jason Sheff. Last place was Dylan Dreyer. Rich Eisen was second to last. You had Jason Kelsey down there as well. Bad golfers. Where did Barkley finish? Man, he must have played decent. Where's Barkley at?
Was he up there?
Oh, there he is. 69th. Nice. Minus 17. So Baker got beat by Barkley.
Yeah, he wasn't very good. It says, while we're on the topic from the text line, my brother believes he could eat 16 McDoubles in less than 1 hour. No way, dude. No way.
That's a lot.
No way. Not unless he's some Joey Chestnut. I mean, right?
16 McDoubles in an hour. There's no way.
That's 4 pounds of hamburger and bun
Mm-hmm.
and cheese. I mean, all that stuff adds up, especially the buns. No way. You would shut down your entire immune system. If you care about your brother at all, tell him no. There's no reason. There's no reason we need to see this. Too much sodium, fat, and calories. Yeah, that's way too much sodium, fat, and calories. But it's also just going to sit on top of your stomach. It's just not going anywhere. That would have been no.
Sooner Bullfrog.
That's brutal. Okay, it must be getting close to the football season when Sooner Bullfrog gives us a call. Sooner Bullfrog, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm fine. Just I'm glad the Thunder got us through a lot of the tough times.
Yeah, no, the tough times are pretty much over.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a little bit nervous that Oklahoma, and I need you to talk me down, prove me wrong. I got this feeling like we're kind of becoming like a slow motion Nebraska. Like Nebraska was doing fine. They went to the national championship 2001. They went to some Big 12 championships. I don't think they won one, but and then they move off to the new league and go down the drain. Now, talk me off the ledge, and I'll take it out. I'll take it off there. I'm probably oversimplifying it, but it's kind of got me scared a little bit.
All right, thanks, Bullfrog. I don't think it's a good comparison. I don't. I think that Nebraska ran through a series of bad hires, entirely different from them moving from the Big 12 to the Big 10. I mean, Oklahoma in the SEC, they changed leagues. They've got different opponents, but they have the same recruiting areas. They still focus on Dallas. They still focus on Texas. I mean, they're not changing the things that they've done, the places that they've recruited. Nebraska got themselves in trouble by failing to hire a head coach that was as good as Tom Osborne or somebody that could come sustain the program. Frank Solich did a nice job of bridging it, but just, man. And I love Coach Solich, and he spent a long time at Ohio and won a lot of games there. I think he's a really solid football coach, but just didn't have any charisma and personality. And I think that is a big detractor from your head coach at a program like Nebraska. I mean, Osborne, not an electric personality either, and that's probably who Solich, learned most of his profession from, but he won all the time. I mean, his teams were great. And when you go 8-4 and your personality isn't something that people identify with, then you have some issues. But Nebraska continuously poor hire. Oklahoma, since Bob, I wouldn't call Lincoln Riley a poor hire. I know people don't like him, but he had some incredible teams. He is basically a play or two away from being in the national championship game, and the team that beat him won it. So, or played close enough to win it. That was a year that you'd think OU had a pretty good chance to get the job done. Brent, we'll see. They turn it around this year. They win 9 games. I think it's a good move that they brought in Jim Nagy to be the general manager of the team, try to help recruit. He knows a lot of players around college football. People are raving about Jaden Ott from Cal that they brought in. Then it's too early to say that. But no, I think Oklahoma, it's not quite the same. Not quite the same as Nebraska. Of all the things you need to worry about, I would say that's probably not it. Don't be too concerned.
Am I crazy for being high on OU this year, Mark?
How high are you on OU? I mean, then I'll tell you.
I'm debating between 8 and 9 wins.
They can win 8. I mean, 9 wins is really tough.
They would have to win either Tennessee or LSU.
I mean, they have to win a bunch. I mean, like those other.
They're going to be 5-0 going into Texas.
I think it absolutely lose to Michigan and Auburn.
They can lose to them, but they should beat them, right?
They're not going to. They're barely a favorite against Michigan, and they won't be that big a favorite against Auburn.
Their offense is going to be light years better.
I think you have to say we'll split those games. let me talk you off the ledge on the offense here real fast. And then, like I said, I've spent some time around John Mateer. I think the guy is Baker Mayfield. Not on the field, but off the field. His confidence, his demeanor, the motivation, the chip on his shoulder, all of those things, he has a chance to be very good. But offensive line was such a mess last year. Do we know that it's fixed? Are they going to start two freshmen, or are they going to have two freshmen with true freshmen with significant playing time in the SEC? That is not optimal. Not optimal at all. Wide receiver. Tell me who's their best wide receiver. Is
Burks?
Is he going to play? I mean, like last year he played in 3 games. I mean, he's in the slot. I think that it would play pretty well, but they don't have the depth at that position, and I think they probably don't have the talent as a lot of other teams in the league. Those are all things.
We'll see on Giovanni Gibson. Obviously, Jaden Gibson coming off the injury too. Isaiah Satenga coming from Arkansas. Those are the other receivers.
Those guys aren't or haven't been OU receivers of the past. When OU's competing for national championships, they don't have Hollywood Brown. They don't have D.D. Westbrook. They don't have Mark Clayton. They don't have those guys. And in some of those years that they were really good, they had 2 of them or 3 of them playing on the same team. So that's what I'm saying is that this OU offense just doesn't look like the offenses they had that were competing for championships. And again, I think you have to just say, okay, look, John Mateer's a big dude running around against the WAC or the Mountain West. It ain't the same as running around at LSU or against Alabama, or it's not.
He can throw it too, though.
No. I think he's going to be really good. I think he's in the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the SEC. That's great. But he's got to have help. I mean, I'm more worried about the help than I'm worried about him. And then defensively, yeah, things should be pretty good. They got depth on that side of the ball. They've got some star power. Let's see what they can crank up. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. By the way, we got a guy here that is a dietitian. This is good stuff. 16 McDoubles is not 4 pounds of meat. It's 5.3 pounds, 6,240 calories, 320 grams of fat, 512 grams of carbs, 352 grams of protein.
Kiffin at the podium.
Holy cow. Lane's at the podium?
Yes, he is.
Let's take a little Lane Kiffin here before we take a break.
My mother and how grateful I am to her, and it reminds me of coaches' wives and to all coaches' wives in all levels.
Okay, you're potted down. Just let me know when you want to cut it.
Together in these families with coaches like my dad that worked so much, and
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said let's and
okay,
today.
Gotcha.
And feel like a lot of years and spent a lot of time, taking us to a certain level. And I think when you're now experiencing that, which is strange, of losing both parents, that you're really the highest on the family tree now of what's left. And what that means about, they go next door, and I don't think they leave you. I think they go next door and they allow you to go to the next level. And just coming off of, a couple days with family and with Chris's kids, and, whether that was dancing with my nieces at Morgan Wallen, or then yesterday out on the boat and seeing all the cousins playing with each other, and how proud my parents would be of that. And just really, really cool to see things through a different lens now, and awesome that there's so many Kiffins in Oxford to experience everything together. Where I think of our program, where we're at, and, the last 4 seasons there, since COVID, and 3 of those 4 seasons with top 12 finishes. I believe in the last 55 years of Ole Miss, there's been 4 top 12 finishes. So 3 of those to be in the last 4 years, 1 in the previous 51 years, I think says a lot about what we've been able to do through the staff, through the players, through everybody involved, especially the leadership above me. Over that time, the third most SEC wins of all 16 SEC teams. That's helped us tremendously. When we got there at Ole Miss, we had to sell to recruits, hey, when you come here, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to win. We're going to have first-round picks. We're going to have the most players drafted in school history. We're going to win 11 games in a season, win 21 games in the last 2 seasons. And so now that we've done that, we've seen that impact, whether that's in transfers coming in or high school kids, that they've been able to see that. And especially with Mississippi kids to stay home, knowing that they can achieve and get all these things that maybe previously they needed to look to leave for. Okay, it's 2025 team. I think we have a lot of really good players coming back. We added a lot through the portal, and it's been a very competitive offseason. I think that the groundwork of these last players over the last few years, what they've laid, what they taught the players has been very beneficial. Like we say in recruiting, you get what you see with us. There's not fluff in recruiting. We don't put on this show, and then all of a sudden they get there and it's a different thing. And I think that that's really helped us over time for us not to have many kids that are playing leave and go into the portal, and for other kids to come to us because they know that. And a lot of that is to our culture and to our staff. So to be able to keep our entire staff from last year was very critical. That's not been the case a lot of times in our years at Ole Miss. We've had to replace a lot of really good coaches. I think we've done a good job of putting together this roster, working within this cap. If you go back to retention of last year's players and then the portal guys in December, January, we went into that operating under this cap because, we were told the settlement was most likely going to get approved and how that would work. So, we get a lot of questions like, what's it like now? Well, we have under this cap guidelines of what was coming and what it was going to look like. So I think we've done a really good job of that. It obviously means you can't sign as many players as you'd like at times because you have a budget. So we're obviously hopeful that, that'll be rewarded by doing that. I think it's obvious people aren't staying within that cap. So I think the whole thing will be what does that look like? And that's what we don't know. What does it look like when you don't? And what are the punishments for that? Do you win and then that comes later? So that's remained to be seen, but I've already about the cap and what is that like now having to do that. We've been doing that for a while, operating on that.
Ooh, there's some juicy stuff right there from Lane Kiffin. He said, now we have a budget, but it's pretty obvious that some teams aren't staying within the budget. Who was he talking about, Sam? I don't know news. I mean, Tech went to great lengths to explain how they signed their offensive lineman and kept him within the budget.
Would Missouri be on that list?
No, I don't know. I don't know who he was talking about. Ole Miss is a fascinating team. And for a lot of the reasons he said, he just went to the podium and started talking about all of the things that they had done. And he's right. And the history of Ole Miss football, that's as good as it's been. How are they going to sustain it? How are they going to sustain it? I would think they'd have an advantage when it just comes to free-for-all. Like if they're paying for players and they've got NIL money and they were able to go out and get all kinds of good players. They got Walter Nolan from A&M. They got Jackson Dart. When he was in the portal, all of those type of things. If it's now just in a budget and Ole Miss has got the same amount of money as Mississippi State that they're paying out to players, can Lane Kiffin succeed in that realm? Maybe so. Maybe so. I don't know. It's a good question, but I love that. That is good stuff. That's what you're going to be hearing tonight on ESPN. Everywhere else is what did Lane Kiffin mean when he talked about people going over the budget or outside the budget? So he was lobbing some shots at someone. All right, we'll may hear a little bit more from him. We got to take a break. We got to get back on the clock. We got Jason on the phone. We'll get to him. We got some great texts. One great text about Oklahoma and their schedule that I want to read, and we'll get to, and we'll talk more about that when we come back. It's SEC Media Days right here on the Middle of the Day Show, 98.1 WWLS, the Sports Animal.
5 in Norman. The Sports Animals College Football Countdown is powered by Rob's Ranch, and you can follow along at thesportsanimal.com or the Sports Animal app.
Welcome back to the middle of the day show right here in not Radio Row, Sam, but Digital Drive. Digital Drive is not just a drive like a normal drive would be, like a street that just goes straight. Digital Drive is a U-turn, like it goes down, then over a little bit, then back.
Looks like you're on like a balcony. I'm watching the stream behind me here.
Yeah, we are. We're in the second floor of the College Football Hall of Fame.
How is it, by the way? Have you gone through it?
I have not. Setting up this equipment was intellectually challenging. Quite intimidating with the equipment that we have here today. Cisco talked me through it. I thought he and I might never speak again. I was hoping that he got some good rest last night. I didn't, but we made it. I mean, he was.
You've been on the move. You were in Kansas City, then Dallas, now Atlanta.
Reports of me being in Kansas City are exaggerated. I don't believe that I've been in Kansas City.
I mean, not Kansas City. You were in Chicago.
Chicago, yes. Chicago, yes. No,
Sorry.
It's been a whirlwind. It's been whirlwind. But anyway, we got all the equipment set up. We got the streaming going. So that's pretty impressive. But I haven't had a chance to walk around and see all that's going on here at the College Football Hall of Fame. The wall of helmets I had seen before, but that's spectacular.
I went to the old one in South Bend, but I haven't been to this one since they moved it. I'm sure it's much nicer, even though the old one was pretty cool.
It is a little bit more spectacular. Okay, let's go back and hear a little more from Lane Kiffin, where we left off. It was kind of a juicy point, but I do want to hear a little bit more about Ole Miss, and then we will take some phone calls, and we've got some texts that we need to answer here on the Johnny's Kitchen Bar text line. So here's more of Lane.
Very excited about this schedule coming up. You know, we play 9 games in Mississippi, so that's awesome for our fans. Basically, to have 9 home games is amazing, and for Oxford to have that for the businesses there is great. So it'll be a very competitive schedule and a lot of work to do with all these new players in the meantime. So just appreciate to be here. Thanks for you guys coming out. And with that, questions.
Thank you, Coach Kiffin. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get Emma, Annie, or Nathan to you with a question. Coach, we're going to start over on our right-hand side, over here in the very front row.
Coach Kiffin, Terry Middleton, Horns Illustrated. Thank you, first of all, for highlighting your family. Football brings family and friends together. So I want to talk about friends. I also want to ask if you would help us highlight and enhance the rivalry between your 2 close friends, Sarkisian and Smart. Who do you think is going to take this field next year? Does Sarkisian have a chance over Georgia? And how can we look at it through your eyes?
Well, I think that's those are the 2 premier programs and premier coaches in college football. And so I think they do an amazing job, you know, having both of them, being at both of them at Alabama, and to see how they've used that, and then being with Sarkisian at USC as well, and how he's used Pete Carroll things and implemented there. I think they both do an amazing job, and really in those SEC meetings, you know, you're always listening to the coaches and their input. And I feel like both those guys really run their program truly as a CEO, and they know everything that's going on, and they're very creative in their ideas and how to navigate through this world we're in now. So I think they're both really good friends, really good people, and phenomenal coaches.
Coach, we'll go over to the other side, over to our left on the aisle, about midway back.
Jonathan Williams with the On Side Network. You guys had some big wins last season, but still came up just short of the college football playoff. What is it to you that makes playing in the SEC a lot more difficult, or more difficult than other conferences?
Well, I'm flying over here. I read the commissioner this morning and things that he said, and thought there was something in there interesting. We talked about the 9 games versus 8 games, you know, and then people will say, well, this conference plays 9 games, this plays 8 games. Well, I don't think there's anybody that would trade their 9 games and want to come play our 8 games that you play down here, and the places that you play down here. You guys that have covered the SEC for a while, you can have teams that aren't even having a really good year for them, but you got to go play at their place down here, and it's just different. So scheduling here in this conference and what you do week to week, and then the NFL draft shows that too. Those are the players you're playing against. And it's so balanced throughout the conference that every week you got to really show up. It's really like the NFL. And I don't feel like that is the case in these other conferences, or a really good conference similar to us that's top heavy but doesn't have the middle and bottom the way that we do.
Okay, we'll go down the center aisle, right on the.
Hey, Coach. Emily Grace McWhorter from the next round. At this point in the year, what is your personal focal point that you are emphasizing the most, along with the expectations for your players and staff members?
I just think that we basically restart each of these last few years because the turnover is so much in college football, which I wish it wasn't that way, and it shouldn't be. You should be able to build within your program and have a lot of returning players, but it's just the way the system is now. Hopefully that gets fixed because I don't think that's really good for anybody. It's not good for these kids to go to all these different switch schools every year. So it just makes us restart and not expect that they know anything because they're coming from all these different places.
Coach, we'll go over to our right-hand side.
Good afternoon, Coach. My name is Dylan, and I write for the Daily Mississippian. You mentioned that Ole Miss had had 3 10-win seasons in the last 4 years. So what core elements of your culture have driven to that level of consistency, would you say?
Well, I think we've had really good players over that time, really good schematical coaches that have helped that. So I think that those usually are the key factors there of playing really well. This last season, we led the SEC in scoring offense and defense. That's really unique to do, and I think that to me shows how good that team was. We played 13 games. We won 10 of them double digits. Not one of those games was really close. And then we went 0-3 in one-score games. So that does, to me, show how far we've come as a program to be able to have games like the Georgia game or going to South Carolina and have a game like that.
Which we'll go back over to my side, towards the back on the far aisle.
Hey, Wayne. Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South. When did you get over getting left out of the playoff?
That wasn't that difficult. I mean, it is. I tend to do better with things when they're done. You can't do anything to change them, So it was what it was. I just think, not to go back over that too much, but just in general, and there's been a lot of talk about that since. I just think the system, and it's not because of us, I just think the system doesn't take into the scheduling properly. And then since then, as you look at these other sports, basketball, baseball, you see teams, that go on to win that weren't in the top because they played a really hard schedule, and you lose some games. It's like the basket goes in or out at the end. Doesn't mean you're dramatically different than that team. Just like, you lose a game in overtime. Doesn't mean on the road, so, or the NFL. You see these times all the time. You go to the Super Bowl and here's the 5 seed in the Super Bowl. So I just think that it doesn't account to that. And being a coach and understanding what teams take to go into certain places to play and have to get up every week versus other people's schedule, it's very different.
All right, that's Lane Kiffin. I'll buy into some of that, but man, you didn't have that tough of a schedule last year. As far as the SEC goes, it wasn't that tough. The games that they lost, which with as good as they were, they lost at home to Kentucky. I mean, that's one of the easier games you can have on your SEC schedule. Home against Kentucky. The league was really good last year. They lost at LSU. I mean, that happens. Even though people beat LSU last year. And then they lost at Florida, another team that's kind of in the middle of the pack, the SEC. They had a great win at home against Georgia. But, man, they just that you lose one less game, then you're in the college football playoff. But yeah, led the league in offense and defense. I mean, like that was one of those years they're going to be thinking about. Like, it was a great question. How long does it take you to get over that? I don't know if they'll ever get over that. I mean, yeah, it's over. There's nothing you can do. You can't go back and play those games. But that would be a tough one to get over. I'll tell you, it's a tough one for me to get over. I had nothing to do with the team, but the '88 OU basketball loss to Kansas is still tough for me to get over. I mean, and there are plenty of people out there that are probably listening that played on that team. So that those losses or those seasons in which you have the best team and you don't quite get it done, that stuff haunts you forever, I would think. Okay, Sam, South Carolina here today. They lost all kinds of good players on the defensive side of the ball to the NFL draft. Entire defensive line, defensive end. They came to Norman and had an incredible immediate impact on that game. I'm telling you, Lenore Sellers, just walking around today, that dude is an incredible specimen.
He can really play. Phil Steele, I'm looking here, has him tied for first in the conference as far as quarterbacks go.
He's 235 pounds. He started the season a little bit slow last year, and he was a redshirt freshman quarterback. By the end of the season, he got a lot better. And they had turnovers in the Alabama game that got them beat. They got beat in the bowl game. And I don't know that matters very much. Most people believe that Illinois is one of the better teams coming back in college football, that they could be a sneaky good team in the Big Ten this year. They have a new offensive coordinator this year, Mike Shula, who everybody knows about him. It's David Shula, I believe. Anyway, I don't think that's going to change much. But I do like Frank Beamer as a coach. But he runs and throws the ball this year like I think he can. He's going in the top 10 and maybe even a little bit higher than that. That dude can play. He can play. That's going to be a tough game for OU. Least OU gets that game in the morning. The Sandstorm, South Carolina, all that night game there, I think is a little bit different than what the atmosphere that you get in a day game at Williams-Brice. Planning on going to that game. Really looking forward to it.
I'm curious if Nick Harbor is actually going to be what everyone kind of hyped him up to be before last season, being one of the fastest guys in college football, but it seems like he didn't really do that much.
Well, it's 6'3", too. I mean, he's got the size. Does OU have anybody capable of that?
No. I mean, this guy's kind of like a DK Metcalf of college football,
right?
Specimen-wise.
South Carolina's been able to, I think, at least keep some of those players at home. Beat Clemson last year. That's a good win for them. Very good win for them. All right, text line. Did you guys see Baker shotgun some brewskis with the fans? Yes, we did. We talked about that a little earlier in the show. I thought that was kind of cool. Don't know that everybody on the station would agree, but yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. From the 918 area code, we have a guy that can't stand Jackson Arnold. Just that he's terrible. That coming to Norman is a guaranteed win for OU. Now that he's at Auburn. We saw him play.
Go ahead.
We saw him play. I had a couple games that were very subpar. They weren't good. He didn't have any help around him at all.
All I was going to say is I think OU's going to win that game, but it's not a given by any means, as we've seen with this OU team over the last 3 years.
They miraculously won it last year. I think Auburn has got good players. They've got some good players. They lost a few. They've got a good wide receiving core. They're pretty solid up front. That was a good game last year. OU hung around, got a missed field goal from Auburn. Got the pick six at the end of the game to win it. I don't know that if he didn't get in the end zone on that pick six that OU was going to score.
What did OU's offensive line allow last year in 2 games? Was it 19 sacks? And now he's going to a team where Phil Steele has Auburn's offensive line ranked as the second best offensive line in the conference.
he has some flaws. He has some mechanical flaws. He can do some things better. There's also a chance that he does improve some. And I think, yes, he will have a better offensive line there than what he had last year at OU. I'm not saying that this year's OU offensive line can't pick it up and be good or be improved, but last year's OU offensive line was brutal. Here's another Jackson Arnold fan. If Arnold was so good, why did none of his receivers want to play with him? That's not accurate. The receivers didn't play with Hawkins either, right? I mean, was it just an Arnold thing? I don't think
the same text. I mean, that same texter back on July 4th. Well, I mean, that's today. Earlier in the day, said, "I'm so over Nick Anderson, dude." And now he's saying that Nick Anderson didn't want to play with Arnold. That's just not true. Nick Anderson didn't want to play, period.
Yeah, it's crazy. I get, obviously everybody gets the fact that, you have a guy like Kevin Durant that you think is going to be around for a long period of time, that produces, and he is a superstar and he leaves. That hurts. You think you're going to win championships and all of that. Caleb Williams produces, then he leaves and wants to go someplace else. That hurts. I can get, I don't like that guy. The Jackson Arnold hate, I don't get. I mean, everybody loved him when he was a recruit coming to OU. It didn't work. It didn't work for a lot of different reasons. Some of it was his fault. Some of it was the people around him. I think some of it was the coaching. There was a lot of things that went into it. Why are you mad at that guy? I mean, he at least played hard, beat Alabama, got OU bowl eligible. If you go back and look at the history of Oklahoma football, the seasons in which they don't win 6 games since Bud Wilkinson took over as a coach, there's not many of them. And I think there's 1 or 2 of them that weren't coached by John Blake. One of them was with Brent. So
I don't think people are necessarily mad at Jackson Arnold, the person. They're just mad that they thought they had a 5-star and the guy came in and threw 12 touchdowns.
Half of the OU 5-stars have been busts.
Exactly. It's never a given.
I mean, that's your fault if you had high expectations of that guy. Yeah, it's not a given. It's absolutely not a given. But, hey, if he was great and left, I get being mad. Why do you want to pile on the guy when he didn't do well? I mean, Auburn thought enough of him to give him a shot.
I think it's a win-win for OU and Auburn that Arnold is gone.
Jackson Arnold has the tools to be good. He seriously lacked confidence last year, and that can break someone. The big stage is not for everyone. Wouldn't be surprised if he had a good year at Auburn. The big stage, it's a lot harder if you don't have your lines memorized or people are, trying to kill you. I don't know why people are upset with him. I think if he comes back and wins this year, then you could be upset with him. Mark, I need 2 futures bets. What do you think about Nebraska total wins? I've not done enough research to tell you what I think about Nebraska total wins yet, but I can look at that. We're going to come up with some pretty good futures bets, Sam. You got to isolate.
I got OSU over.
I got OSU over too, and I actually have live ammo on OSU over.
Oh, really?
5.5, even money.
Seems like a lock.
While I was in Chicago last week, get down there early, go with a big group down to Wrigley Field. We're across the street at Murphy's, and I look up and I see, Sam, the flags are blowing out, all of them, straight out. And I look down and I see the total is 11. 11. Like, okay. And the total is like going up. 11 even money. 11 minus 105. It's a given, right? The wind blowing out, you're going over the total. So I placed a little wager on over the total and the Cardinals winning that day, which was they were a nice underdog. And so I left some of my money in that app there and I put it all on OSU over 5.5. Even money. I'm going to have to go to a state where gambling is legal to collect that. It's tough.
But, I mean, they could lose to Tech, Kansas, K-State, Iowa State, and still cover that.
I heard Jim going over that. It's tight. I mean, they got 3 games they're going to win. Tennessee Martin, Tulsa. There's one other
in Cincinnati or Houston.
Well, I mean, Houston is pretty good. Houston, they've got enough of tweener games. There's not many that they would be an underdog in that they can't win. I think they're probably a favorite in. They're a favorite in 5, but not much of an underdog in a few of the other ones.
It's going to be basically a pick 'em right now on Houston, Cincinnati, and at UCF, right?
They're in the same boat as UCF. I mean, I'll take Mike Gundy as a coach over Scott Frost 9 days a week. But that is on the road. End of the year. So, it boils down to what's Oklahoma State going to have a quarterback. They get good quarterback play, they're going to win 5.5. They're going to win 6. I'm sorry, but that's going to be something we will definitely talk about. And we'll hold our feet to the fire on some futures that we'll give you and hopefully give you some good advice on.
What's OU's number? 6.5.
Yes.
Over.
Yeah, 7. They need 7.
If that goes under, Venables is gone.
I'm not willing to say that it's an absolute at 6-6. Let's see how it goes. If it's a disastrous 6-6, like if there's games in which there's clock mismanagement or confusion on the field and defense is being called and the offense is doing this or stuff like that, then at 6-6, and then then it might change. I don't know. 6 wins is not good. You would be nervous for sure. More text.
Someone here asking about TU winning season this year. I don't know a whole lot about TU other than the fact that Trey Lamb, their new head football coach, qualified for the state open.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. How did he do? Or is it
the state am? I mean,
it's still
yeah, it's coming up. He just played in the qualifier, shot 3 over, so he's in the state am at Cedar Ridge. I've never really heard of a head coach playing in amateur golf tournaments.
Okay, I probably got some young whippersnapper here that's a little ignorant. It's my fault for believing a 5-star should be decent. With that logic, why expect literally anything from any recruit? What great radio. Yes, if you go back and you look at the number of 5-star recruits that OU has signed in the last 25 years, half have been good, half have not. So, sorry. No, you can't expect that any recruit is going to be good. You have to let it pan out. So if you get your hopes up for 5-star recruits, fella, you're going to be disappointed half the time. It's the way that it's been.
Well, especially at the quarterback position, 5 stars out of high school, OU has not necessarily done well with those.
It's been running backs. It's been quarterbacks. It's been wide receivers. It's been linebacker. They've had a bunch. I mean, yeah, I get being excited, but if he didn't live up to expectations, the players around him weren't good enough. I don't know. Again, why take the frustration or being mad out on him? But yeah, if you are a guy that believes that every player is going to be good, you're the one that should blame yourself. Yes. Sorry if you don't think this is great radio. Too bad. Okay, we got a lot more text that we're going to get to. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back. We've got much more coming up here from SEC Media Day. Clark Lee from Vanderbilt is going to be on the podium coming up in a little bit. You already heard from Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss players getting ready to be at the main media stage. So we'll take a break. We'll return with more here on 98.1 WWLS, the Sports Animal.
horses on his boxers.
And all the guys want to be like him.
I used to go marlin fishing with Tom Jones.
It's Mark Rodgers with the Middle of the Day Show on WWLS, the sports animal.
Oh, we just now getting in the top of the hour break?
Yes.
Oh, boy. All right. We better get after it. Okay, we had a good text. I thought this was a good one. It's just, why is everybody talking about OU schedule being so tough? There's a bunch of teams on there that are going to go 7-5, 6-6. That might be right. I think this is an interesting year in the SEC. It is very difficult to pick who's going to win the league. I can give you a couple of contenders. A team that I think might be a contender might not even be in the hunt down the stretch. I think Texas has got the best overall team. I think got a guy just Texas that says is Georgia. I think Georgia might go to the middle of the pack. Okay, Georgia might be down some this year. They got a new quarterback they're breaking in. But who's going to pass them? I mean, who are the teams in the conference that are ascending? Is South Carolina ascending enough? Is OU ascending enough? I mean, that would be one of the teams that people think, I mean, just walk around here and listen to everybody talk. I mean, people are pretty high on OU, which is good, which is fine. But I think you're right. I think the texture is right. This schedule is still tough. It's just not as tough as what last year's was. It doesn't seem – it's not. I mean, like, again, we just talked about Ole Miss. Going to be down a little bit. LSU's got questions. Offensive line, they lose 4 or 5 guys. South Carolina on the road might be tougher. Auburn about the same as last year. You won that game. So I can see that.
If you're just going based off schedules, I think the most favorable schedule in the SEC is probably Alabama. Even a little bit easier, in my opinion, than Georgia and Texas.
Alabama has at Georgia. They don't have Texas.
But they played Georgia off a bye week.
Okay. Yeah.
They play LSU at home coming off a bye week, but their other games, like they play Tennessee at home, like their road games, other than at Georgia, it's at Missouri, at South Carolina, at Auburn. Now, the Iron Bowl's always crazy, but they should beat Auburn.
If the Iron Bowl is at Auburn, which it is, right?
Yes.
All bets off on that. All bets off. What's up, Nate? All bets are off on that.
But they got maybe the best offensive line in the country, maybe the best defense in the country.
Bama?
Yes. They got Caden Proctor back from Iowa.
Yeah. I mean, he never left, just for a month.
Yeah. Parker Brailsford, center. One of the best offensive linemen in the country. We'll see about Ty Simpson, but Ryan Williams,
awesome. Probably
the second best receiver in the country. And then you got not Jelly, but J.M. Miller.
Oh, that's all impressive. They got a good chance to win the league. I think they're one of the three. You like them better than Texas?
Just slightly, based off their schedule. I think Texas's schedule is a little bit tougher.
They both have to play at Georgia.
That's right.
What's Texas' second toughest game? Like, if
all right, let me pull this up.
The schedule is lightened up for OU. It's kind of lightened up for everybody. Like I said,
it has kind of lightened up for Texas a little bit.
The middle isn't quite as tough as it has been. I mean, Missouri and Ole Miss last year were both considered to be college football playoff contenders. Neither one of those teams are. Now, Texas didn't have to play either one last year, but that's to the point of the texter that says, hey, OU schedule last year it was tougher than it is this year. I mean, it should be more manageable for them this year. Texas' second toughest game in the conference this year is A&M at home?
I guess you're right. I was thinking Texas' schedule was a little bit tougher, but Ohio State is obviously not a conference game. That's why I had that in my head.
At Florida will be tough. That's the week before OU. That's a tricky one. I'm not super sold on Florida. That's a very manageable schedule.
Yes,
a lot
it
of
is.
talent on that team. That's probably going to be my pick to win.
Anthony Hill's a beast on that defense.
Colin Simmons
is a beast. Weisner on offense is a beast. We'll see about Arch Manning. I think he's going to be really, really good. Wingo, we know, is really good. They got this freshman, Lockett, who is really good at receiver as well. So they're loaded.
He's a 5-star, but we got to wait. We got to wait to see it on the field.
Yeah, we can't say that he's good yet. 5-star.
Is he from Saxe, Texas?
I'm not sure.
Lugnut's on the line. Let's get Lugnut on the phone.
Afternoon, gentlemen.
What's up?
Oh, nothing. Just enjoying another wonderful day, Mark. And sounds like you're having fun in Atlanta. Sam, congratulations on the baby.
Thank you very much.
Glad to hear everything's going well. But, if you could go back in the archives before Jackson Arnold's freshman year or whatever it was, there are some people on that station that I listen to all the time called the Sports Animal that were talking about he's pro ready. He's got all the throws. He can make all the reads. He could do this, 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 and this. And, somebody that you would figure that could do all those things that, these guys talk about, that he just really didn't come to fruition because he's playing with the third string offensive line. Is that more true?
I think there's a lot of discussion there. I think some of it had to do with the players around him. I think he was in a bad coaching spot. I mean, I think that some of his skills probably need to improve. His decision making, things that quarterbacks.
It's probably different from Oklahoma and SEC versus Denton Ryan, right?
Well, yes. I mean, things that quarterbacks have to do to win games in an elite conference or contend for a national championship, he did not do. I don't know if he's going to do them at Auburn. If he can improve, we'll see. But just because that happened in Texas high school football doesn't mean that it's going to translate to the SEC.
Right. Well, I'm sorry I missed your segment on Mr. Willits, but what a shocking surprise that was.
He was projected to be in the top 5. I mean, was it that big of a surprise if he was going to go number 1? He didn't move up that much.
He was
outside the first round. I mean, he was a projected top 5 pick. I'm happy. That's very cool that he went number 1. I mean, I think that it's being portrayed a little bit as more of a surprise nationally than it would have been around here locally, because we have talked about him for a couple of months as being easily a top 4 or 5 pick and potentially a number 1 pick.
Well, and I mean, I know that you probably know this, but I probably said it to you too. But I follow high school baseball religiously, Mark, and he's one of the best I've seen in my 35 years of doing what I do.
Yeah.
But
definitely said that.
His intangibles are just off the charts, and his ability to do what he does. I mean, he's just he's special. I mean, obviously he's special. He wouldn't be the number 1 pick, right? But I talked to
Scissor hands.
Shawnee, of course, Wendy Willits, and it was totally unexpected, and they didn't know until the phone rang that the Nats were taking him as the first pick overall until it actually happened.
Well, that's interesting. Now they were waiting. They weren't out last night running around Fort Cobb Lake trying to fish or anything. I mean, they knew the call was coming. The call was going to come at some point in time early last night, right?
Sure, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it looked like originally it was going to be 7 to the Marlins, but evidently that didn't happen that way. But congrats, and 2 top 4 picks out of Oklahoma, Mark. That's pretty phenomenal.
Geyer, not Ryan High School, right, for Jackson?
Yeah, Geyer. Yeah, Geyer. Dick Geyer. There's so many of them down there. So
yeah, there's more Friscos than the Dentons. There's a couple of Dentons. There's a bunch of Friscos, like 11.
Mark, any quick thoughts on Kyson Witherspoon?
Yeah,
I know you guys talked a lot about Willits and obviously Ethan Holiday, but I want to hear your thoughts on Kyson Witherspoon.
I think dude's hitting 98. I mean, I think that's awesome for the Red Sox. I mean, another Oklahoma tie baseball-wise. I mean, Oklahoma's a great baseball state. And Skip Johnson is a great baseball pitching coach. There's going to be and those guys transferred into OU. I think more and more of that is going to happen. I mean, Skip is just really good. Really good.
Speaking of the Red Sox, they've been on fire.
W10.
That's right.
3 games behind the Yankees or the Jays. The Jays are in first place in that division. My bad.
First team to have a 10-game win streak headed into the All-Star break since
no idea.
The 75 Reds.
That long?
Before that, it was the 1935 Tigers.
Wow. Okay. Well, that does not happen very much.
Can you tell me what those two teams had in common?
They won the World Series.
They did.
I don't know that Boston's going to keep that streak alive. Can we talk to my man Scissorhands?
Let's do it.
Scissorhands, what's up?
Man, check this out, Mark. I got to hear it one time, baby. You in Atlanta, so I got to hear that Atlanta slang. So I want to hear you say, what up, shouty?
What up, shawty? That wasn't very good.
That's how they say it. In Atlanta, that's the word. What up, shouty?
No,
you know what I'm saying? So I know you didn't heard it from somebody.
I was a little slow getting up today. I went to bed late, woke up early, and I got to listen to 97.9 The OG on the way in, man. They're playing some good stuff. So, yeah, I've got a little taste of Atlanta going so far. I'll have more by the time I hit the airwaves tomorrow.
Well, I know that's right. I done been to Atlanta in the last 8 months. I done been down there 3 times. My daughter works at Delta, so you know, I fly in Atlanta and I've been hanging out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I love that city. I love the culture and everything. So, you know, I'm ready for my Sooners to really get to where they need to be so I can be down at the games and everything. So I'm just excited and ready. But it's just crazy. And I'm a Jackson Arnold fan. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I first watched him play, and it just goes to show that, you know, just because you're good in high school don't mean that you're always going to transition in college, which to say that I'm not saying that he can't. And I understand what he went through. You know what I'm saying? The offensive coordinator, you know, the O-line, all our receivers is out and everything like that. But I just, and the crazy thing about it, you know, I deal with them players. Sure. I remember back in the days when my boy Obo, you know what I'm saying, he came up to the shop and he was talking about Baker. He said, man, Scissors, he was running around scrambling and he was about to get tackled and he just threw it up and the receiver caught in the back of the end zone. So I remember when they would talk about Kyler Murray, you know what I'm saying? I would remember when they was talking about certain players and everything like that. But nobody ever was just really talking about Jackson. Because when I kept saying, like, wow, Jackson and everything, and they was like, you know what I'm saying, he cool. But, you know what I'm saying, nobody never just ripped and raved about it. So that's the whole thing about it. And I haven't really talked to nobody about John Mateer. I just know when I met him, you know what I'm saying, he didn't look like a quarterback. He looked like a strong safety. Like, yeah, I mean, like, the boy looked good. So, you know, I was chopping up with him at the softball game and everything like that. And, you know, from what I seen, his highlights, you know what I'm saying, they say he got some dog in him, and that's the whole thing about it. You got to have that dog in you. Because I tell you like this, if you don't bite as a puppy, you'll never bite as a dog. And they just gotta get them dogs back. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, bro, I'm going to tell you, man, that 2000 team, they was different. It was just like, they were just different. And like, I don't never encourage nobody to fight or anything like that. But that 2000 team, if you didn't do your job, it was somebody on your butt. That was like, man, you better come with it. So, you know, I love my Sooners, die hard. I mean, that.
Got a break after Scissor.
I'm just ready to get back to that Oklahoma football because, like I said, it just ain't the same. And I love Coach Venables. I love him with all my heart. But it's time. It's time. I don't want to see him leave. I want to see him for some years. But like I said, it's time because everybody want to win now. If you look at basketball, look at all these professional teams. It's like they trying to put a team together where they can beat the Thunder. So I don't know. I'm just ready, Mark.
We'll know more after the Michigan game. They play really well in that one. Then I think you start to get excited. But I would temper my emotions before that. I would temper them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I used to be one.
So, you know, don't be afraid to text me. Someplace is good to go to have a good time or have something to eat. All right.
Magic.
Okay, I got you. I got some partners out there right now, so I definitely check on some spots. Where in Atlanta you at? What area?
I'm downtown now. I'll be in Buckhead later.
Buckhead. Let me hear you say it one more time before you go.
What up,
Shouty? You got to say Shouty.
Shorty.
Not shorty, like
There was
Shouty.
barely an R in there, just barely.
Yeah, it's SHAW, Shouty.
Shawty.
So let me hear you say it. Say, what up, Shouty?
What up, Shawty?
There you go. My dude has been Atlantanized.
Somebody's going to punch me in the face if I say that later. I appreciate it, Scissor Hands. Thanks for the call, man. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back more. We got text coming in. We appreciate it. Give us a call, 405-900-9957, the Lucky Star studio line. More coming up from SEC Media Days in Atlanta. Stay tuned.
Humphreys along with Mark Rodgers live in Atlanta for SEC Media Days. We'll talk to Mark in just a second, but the way I see it, sponsored by my good friends at Enjoy Vision. Go visit summeroflasik.com, schedule your free LASIK consultation, get $600 off of LASIK. It worked for me back in February of 2024, and I still see better than I ever did before, even with glasses or contacts. The way I see it today is very simple. I think a lot of people know I was gone last week celebrating the birth of my first baby daughter. Hope Rain Humphreys was born on July 2nd at 1:26 p.m., and she was 7 pounds, 7 ounces, 20 inches long. And the way I see it, Mark, and speaking of a fresh perspective, is that when you hold your little baby girl for the first time, nothing else in the world matters. So the way I see it is that moment, holding Hope for the first time, was the best moment of my life. So a little bit more personal today with the way I see it, but I had to say that today to let the people know how cool that moment was.
That is awesome, Sam. Congratulations. I think that is very, very well done. True words not been spoken. Outstanding. Okay, today, again, it's been Vanderbilt, LSU, Ole Miss, and South Carolina here. Some of the more interesting teams in the conference. We haven't talked a lot about LSU in terms of winning the league. They've got some holes to fill, but we'll break that down a little bit more. Tomorrow is a very interesting day. You've got the University of Texas. You got Tennessee tomorrow afternoon, Auburn, and Georgia. I mean, that's maybe the most star-studded day of any of them here, with Georgia and Texas, teams that played for the SEC championship yesterday going at the same time. So we'll take a quick break. We'll get caught up. Gideon is coming in for Jim today here at 2 o'clock. So we will continue with more from SEC Media Days right after this.
OKC, your Oklahoma City Thunder, are the 2025 NBA champions.
The final chapter reads the Oklahoma City Thunder are the 2025 NBA champions.
What a historic season for our city, our state, and our team. Congrats from Clearsight LASIK, proud partner of WWLS, the sports animal, your home of the Oklahoma City Thunder, NBA champions.
Parker Brothers Roofing. Call them and tell them Kale sent you, and it might save you some money. Google Parker Brothers Roofing or call 741-6252.
The more things change, the more things...
Lopez. Learn more at OKCCrash.com or call Dr. Lopez at 405-86-CRASH.
We got a text here that said, any comments on ESPN Day in Oklahoma yesterday? Did you see any of that? I was out of Oklahoma.
I saw some of it. Yep.
Didn't mean I couldn't watch ESPN, but anyway, they visited the whitewater rafting. Whatever it was.
Yep.
That
the
place
river.
is really cool, by the way. I mean, I've been down there a few times. That's awesome. That is something definitely to feature when you come to Oklahoma. That is called summer television, though, by the way. And I'm all for it. We did that at Channel 5 where we went to a different town to do the newscast every day for a week in July. I was there at Channel 5 for 7 years, and I think I did 6 of those tours. But, man, I always learned something really neat.
I have one issue with what ESPN did yesterday.
What is it?
It's they did an entire OU Texas segment, and the expert that they brought in to talk about OU Texas was Sam Acho.
Yeah, that's lazy. They should have had an Oklahoman.
There's no one with Oklahoma ties that you could have brought in for Oklahoma Day?
They could have brought in a bunch of people. He was just hanging around the studio. But, yeah, getting a chance to go to all those different cities in Oklahoma, we got to spend the day touring something, learning about things that have been – that was fantastic. I can go deep on knowledge in a lot of different cities from having done that. That was fun. Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to go walk around for a minute, see what I can see. I'm going to scope out some things.
Okay, Mark, you need to head to Omni North Tower M1. That's where lunch is. International Ballroom D of the College Football Hall of Fame.
That is right behind me. Lunch, my man, is already done because it is an hour.
Okay, well,
later.
good news for you. You got a snack break at 3:30.
What I don't know. What do you think they're going to bring in there during the snack break?
It's right after Vanderbilt. You get a snack break. I think that's hilarious that they literally put snack break right after Vanderbilt on this schedule.
They had pecan pie in there for lunch. That was going to be. I shouldn't have eaten, and I didn't.
Main course pecan pie.
The main course, they had Carolina pulled pork. They had sweet tea brine chicken, and then they had some redfish. None of which I ate because I did not have time.
It's kind of disappointing they don't have peach cobbler in the Peach State.
I don't know what's over there. I'll go look at the snack just to check it out for you. But anyway, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get on with Gideon here after about a 20, 25-minute break. And so I'll see if there's anything else interesting that's gone on that has been off of the media airwaves in terms of with scribes or anything like that. So I will see you then. Gideon coming in next. He's in for Jim. He and Sam will be hanging out, and we'll return with more coming up a little bit later on the show right here from SEC Media Days in Atlanta. Stay tuned.
The Afternoon Sports Beat with